The Piikani Nation is located on the Crow Lodge Creek on the Old Man River at the edge of the Rocky Mountains. Located between the towns of Pincher Creek and Fort Macleod and approximately 150 kilometers south of Calgary. The western edge of the nation is the hamlet of Brockett. Piikani Nation consists of approximately 4,500 members, which occupies a land mass of 46,677 hectares. This also includes a timber limit, which is located 12 kilometers west of the nation's primary land base. The Piikani Nation is one of 4 members of the Blackfoot Confederacy, which includes Amska Piikani, Siksika, Kainai, and Piikani. Their traditional territory stretches north to the North Saskatchewan River, south to the Yellowstone area, west in the Rocky Mountains, and east all the way to the Cypress Hills. The traditional economy prior to the European contact consisted of indigenous plants and wildlife, such as bison and berries. Trade was common with the Piikani people and neighboring nations, thus producing trade networks throughout North America. Piikani signed the Treaty Number 7 on September 22, 1877, which established a formal relationship with the Government of Canada. Soon after the 1882, the reserves were established for the Blackfoot Confederacy.
Still undergo is Scootsen. So my name's Doan Crowshoe, member of the Chief and Council for Piikani Nation. I was first elected in 2007 to president. Currently sit as a PRDL board chairman. So PRDL would be responsible for all the, business development for the reserve. But we've kind of refined our business activities to specifically renewable energy. We've actually engaged with several different solar initiatives, renewable initiatives meaning wind, hydro, and it's been quite the adventure thus far. In the late 1990s, in that time frame, we've had Piikani Utilities Corporation, which undertook that position of developing a wind turbine. So Piikani Nation erected that turbine called Weather Dancer 1. That process was complete, and it was basically a test turbine. Weather Dancer 1, was the first in Western Canada to be at the tallest mast. It was the tallest turbine in southern Alberta at the time when it was erected. It's still turning. We still receive financial benefit from the power that it actually turns into money. We've always known in southern Alberta, and especially where our reserve lies, it's the windy territory for southern Alberta. We've since talked to major wind developers about providing us with new up-to-date wind data. So, last year we erected our Met Tower to collect data at this point. So hopefully at the end of 1 year we'll have relevant data to take, and to showcase that the wind power here, it's like, don't just take our word for it, here's the scientific proof. Hey, that's where we're at with our Met Tower. Weather Dancer 2 is a secondary vesseless turbine that we expect to erect sometime this fall. And once again, it's on a small scale level, and it's to showcase to ourselves, to our community, and the world, on a global scale, that we have the ability to do these things independent of any type of outside help. The plan has always been to have a wind farm on the reserve, and it's just a matter of where it's placed, collecting of the wind data, and to make sure we're in a position where we can showcase that to potential partners that are out there. So we've facilitated a large number of discussions revolving around solar power partnerships. We've tried our hand with solar development on a mini scale, with the development of panels placed on our Piikani Resource Development offices, and as well in collaboration with our high school to showcase, the utilization of the solar power technology. So we're in a position now to see, introductory level about owning and operating our own solar panel facilities on a small scale. When we actually developed this plan, it was actually to subsidize some of the power and energy costs. So we've had a variety of different ideas about how we can utilize the power that's actually retained, and off-siting, in our PRDL office building here, our elders are housed here as well. So it's to kind of subsidize some of the elder costs for their meeting center plays, but as well for our hockey arena. Piikani Nation entered into partnership discussions with ATCO Hydropower. Oh shucks, it's been mid-2000s. We've finalized that partnership arrangement in 2007, and since then we own 25% of the net revenue sharing with ATCO Power. So the nation created its corporate entity called the Piikani Old Man Hydro Limited Partnership. So that vehicle is used to partner up with ATCO Power. To this date, we've received a good portion of our investment back. So we call it the Southwest Reinforcement because of all the wind development that has taken place in southern Alberta. There was a requirement to reinforce the 240 kV line and structures from Pincher Creek all the way to Lethbridge. And the route that was chosen and selected by AltaLink for the construction of that line flowed through our reserve, the Piikani Nation. So AltaLink allowed for the participation of a joint partnership to share in that revenue and proceeds from the power that's actually running through that line. It's been a long process. We concluded our negotiations with AltaLink in the latter part of 2010. Since then, the nation has been in a position to pursue that opportunity, but one of the obstacles we kind of were faced with was the different regulatory channels that were, it was the first for all of Alberta for Piikani Nation to be the first Nation to complete a deal that had to do with transmission facility ownership. Painstaking process, we're through that. We've officially kind of been in a position where we now are 51% owners of the equity value of our 240 kV line. So it's something that, it was painstakingly to get through that process because it's the first of its kind.
Nitaniku Pita Putta, right? So it's my Indian name. And I run the CY Ranch. I've been running it for the last few years for the nation. I think our glory years are probably 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s when we ran a lot of cattle. The Band Ranch had been in cattle for, say, 100 some years, right? And it's been going up and down. Sometimes our numbers go up, sometimes they go down. But then after 67, when the liquor was open to Indians, to us people, then we started taking over. And one of the first ranch managers was Jerry Potts, right? Then after that, it was kind of run by chief and council, the band, and they hired one of our members to run the ranch. The government and our leaders at the time said, well, we should bring back the buffalo. So I think they coordinated with Waterton Lakes, and then they gave the band about 10 head of buffalo. In the last, say, 3 years, all of a sudden we're back up to almost close to 30 head now. The buffalo is kind of sacred to us, right? You know, history says we depended on them. And it's nice to have them, right? It's, they're nice to have around. They're here for ceremonial purposes, right? So, which is good.
Indian REA provides the nation with the ability to retail our own power that we've purchased from the power pool. So in Alberta, because of the deregulation, we have spot market pricing. Um, so at that point, we've purchased power from the grid, and then we turn around and we utilize that power, and we provide that retail services for our community members. So the REA is owned by the nation, and it services our rural area residents. We've been in a position where we own and have developed like a upgrade to all of our power pole facilities, and they're all the wooden pole structures on the reserve. And we've had approximately 1,700 poles on the reserve. We own the lines, and we've utilized a third-party forest to help us maintain and operate those lines. So as well, we have the ability to provide power bills to our community members. We retail our own power purchases from the grid to our community members. It's worked well. A large portion of our community members utilize our REA billing system. We've had 90 to 95% compliance with our billing. We're pretty proud of the REA for where it is now. A lot of work has been involved with respect to bringing that up to safety standards that have been required for off-reserve uses as well. So power that's utilized off-reserve is not quite the same thing as on-reserve. So dealing with that aspect between provincial jurisdiction and federal jurisdiction becomes important to realize that we're kind of following both, and we've had a safety standard that allows us to be in a position where we're adhering to all the health and safety regulations both on and off reserve.